if there's a part of you that feels like it hasn't finished something, it doesn't necessarily mean it's the end and you've closed the book on it. And I think it's really easy to think that it is, it's really easy to think that now I'm defined as the video guy, whatever, I've got to continue doing that, reading or writing the story that was kind of accidentally written maybe along the way, and I can't change it. And actually that's not the truth.
Hello and welcome to Storytelling for Business, the podcast that helps you forge connections with your ideal clients, your teams, and the people who matter by telling stories they can't resist. I'm Katie Flamman. I'm a voice actor, podcaster, in case you hadn't realised, presenter, and ex-broadcast journalist. I work a lot with corporate clients, helping them to communicate with their customers and grow their brands. So I read and narrate a lot of scripts for a lot of corporate campaigns. And you're not supposed to kick your mic if you're a professional broadcaster either. Unfortunately, some corporate scripts are better than others, and I'm trying to get to the bottom of why that is. I do know it's often to do with the stories they want to share and how they go about doing it. So in this podcast, I'm talking to storytelling experts and regular business owners too, to figure out what works, what doesn't, and why. And I'm really happy to have you here, lovely, lovely listener, to share in all these discoveries. Now, today's guest is mostly all about video. Andy Greenhouse runs Swipe, a video production company based in London and Brighton. He lives, breathes, and creates brand stories through animation, interviews, explainers, title sequences, motion graphics, films and videos for social media, TV, and a hell of a lot more as well. Andy knows how to connect your story to the right people. He's worked for really big brands like Vogue, Toyota, John Lewis, 3Mobile, Amex, KPMG, Boots and the White Company. But he also helps smaller clients too, with everything from their branding identity and creative business thinking through to, of course, their video marketing. But Andy is a lot more than just a video guy. He's a writer, an artist, a teacher. He's always searching for connection and community. And I think storytelling is the thread that runs through it all. So let's say hello. Andy Greenhouse, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, that was amazingly professional. I am in awe of your skills.
I'm reading off a script. It's what I do. Okay, so welcome. It's so brilliant to have you. It was quite tricky to sum you up in that intro because you facilitate storytelling by helping people to make videos, kind of, and other stuff. But I think it's who you are. I mean, how would you describe yourself if we, the elevator pitch?
Somebody who can't do elevator pitches, especially when they're talking about themselves, because, I think what you touched on is a creative confusion, I guess I'm calling it right at this moment, because I think creativity generally, you don't have to define it, but in the business world you do. And I guess over the years I have defined myself as different things, and right now I'm kind of in the mix of at the point of bringing everything together. So bringing, my design background, my video, everything together. So I would say I try to be a creative all-rounder, I suppose, but that doesn't help people understand what you do. So I say I'm the video guy,
Yeah.
Although that's just one part of it these days.
Yeah. It's really interesting, isn't it? I love how you said you don't need to define it, because I think if you try and define creativity, it's like putting a lid on it. And the whole point of creativity is you never know what's gonna come from one thing to the next thing to the next thing. But obviously, if you're in business, you do need to tell people what you can do. And I sometimes think showing is often better than telling?
Showing has always been better than telling for me. That was always the way that we would talk to potential clients, prospective clients, would be to hide behind the work, kind of, imagine the work as a physical thing, and you push it through the door first, and you kind of wave quietly behind going, "Hi, I'm Andy, but look at this, please."
Yeah. Yeah. And actually, in a way, it is all about them, right? It's all about it's about their story. It's about their vision. It's about their audience. It isn't really about you /us /creatives. It's what we kind of can birth, for want of a better word, bring to the fore. Maybe that's better.
Yeah. Birthing is a good analogy, I guess. Because you're looking at, you are firstly looking at why they're doing it and why they want to speak to a particular audience, and then everything comes from that. And the language you use, where they hang out, where they're going to see whatever you're producing or feel whatever you're producing, what context their lives take, I guess. They're just a huge amount of so it's not even about the client, it's about the audience that the client is trying to reach. It's a cliche, isn't it? But the cliches are often the truest.
And I like that you use the word feel, because that's what it's about. It isn't just about what you see. We look at stuff all the time and we hear stuff all the time, but it's what we actually take in and what we feel. And that's the emotional connection, isn't it? That's what storytelling is, whether it's through a brand story, whether it's visual, whether it's through a video. It's about what do you make them feel?
Yeah, I mean, I am all about that, the emotional, the feels, and how you kind of reach somebody kind of under the skin. And it's not always easy, but I feel like I've always been quite an emotional person. So I recognize that people like me, so everybody has an emotional bed deep within. It just depends on how thick the skin is to get in there. Everyone can relate to something somebody is feeling, but they don't necessarily want to acknowledge it, or they don't want to show that
because it's vulnerable. It's safer to shut it down, I think, or to laugh it off, or politely move on, as British people like to do. Yeah. Okay, we've already gone exceptionally deep, and we're like 2 minutes in. Okay, so what is so great about video? Why should people let's bring this right back to our listener. Why should people use video in their marketing?
I guess depending on who you are, what sort of size you are, business-wise, marketing. It's just the easiest, quickest way, if you can engage somebody, to get a message across. No question about it. I mean, it just needs to be crafted in the right way for the right audience.
You said what depending on what size you are. So there's different kinds of video, isn't there? And there's obviously the super high budget, abroad shoot, multiple location, multiple camera, multiple crew shoots that don't come along that often, but are amazing when they do, I'm guessing. And then there is the other end of the spectrum, which is your Selfie Video School. I was going to say, like, everyone with a phone can be a video content creator. TikTok is here. We're stuck with it. But not everyone is comfortable with being on camera. But you started Selfie Video School. So just tell us about that. Why on earth you would empower people to do video by themselves when you should be surely getting them to pay you to do video for them?
Counterintuitive, isn't it? I mean, I think the thing for me is you can't one, you can't ignore what's happening in the market. You look at the signs, you recognize that user-generated content is growing. This was back in 2015. I think we just noticed it.
2015. I mean, that's
back in
a long time ago.
Back in 2015, I think that was around the time when platforms like Periscope and Vine were sort of doing the rounds, and we were sort of experimenting, seeing how to help clients. I remember a client said, "Oh, we want a 20-second video," and I was like, "Well, do you want to shoot more than 20 seconds to get that 20 seconds, or you kind of you're just hooked on that 20 seconds?" And she was, "No, just want the 20-second video. That's it," because that was what was kind of popular at the time.
Yeah.
But the Selfie Video School, so we were producing lots of different content for lots of different brands and businesses, animation through to film stuff, all different genres of each. But I have never particularly enjoyed getting in front of the camera. Always had a problem with sort of self-confidence in that way. And like many people, what I was saying earlier, what people feel, what other people feel. And there's more people that feel like me than people who are comfortable with the camera.
Yeah.
Like way more.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. So I'd been writing on LinkedIn for a year, maybe a year and a half.
In 2015?
No, sorry, this was I didn't start Selfie Video School in 2015.
Right. No. How long ago did you start it? A year ago? Couple of years
just
ago?
in 2023, yeah. It was like November 2023. Yeah. So I had been writing and getting over my fear of, even posting a selfie. I mean, it's like as myself, writing as myself, etc. And there was just this feeling that I work in video, I need to get in front of video. I need to push myself. I've always felt like self-challenges are the way that you move yourself forward. Yeah. You get to the next stage. And maybe that's an incremental step, but all those incremental steps, they work towards the bigger picture. So I started doing sporadic videos, trying to help people with the same fear as I have, which doesn't go away. It just gets easier. And then I kind of decided to turn that into, I was pushing this idea of doing a 30 days of video because I'd seen someone else do 30 days of video. I thought, can I do that? And because I work in video, I thought, if I can't do it,
what hope is there?
What hope is this? So that was what kicked off, Selfie Video School.
What is it?
Basically,
what is it?
It's an excuse for a group of people to get together and push themselves out of comfort in front of the camera and learn about some, technical things like lighting and all things that you can do yourself with a phone, which will improve how you come across on camera and how the aesthetics are on camera and, just little things.
And I would say how you come across in life also.
So this is the thing that I didn't realize after the first initial time I did it. So I put the word out there that I was doing 30 days of Selfie Video School, kind of wrapped some nice sort of fun stuff around the whole school analogy. I'm a designer as well, so I, branded the thing and stuff like that. And then a group of people were invested. We met on a Monday and we met on a Friday. So Friday after school club and Monday assembly, nice bookends.
Lovely.
Sets you up for the week. You make friends. You've got support from each other. And anyway, after the 30 days, my goal was basically to walk. It's so ridiculous, sounds so ridiculous, but it was to walk in to a supermarket with doing a video, right? And it's that seemed like so far out of my comfort zone on day one. And on day 30, I walked into the local Lidl because, I just couldn't be seen in Waitrose talking to myself.
Let's grade this particular challenge. Realistic expectations.
And I felt, I had felt increasingly more confident over the period of those 30 days.
30 days is
weirdly,
a long time.
in life, just talking face to face to people, because it is, there's something that happens. There's an acceptance, there's a self-acceptance, and you're not so conscious of yourself. I think that's the thing. So every now and again, I kick off another 30 days.
Did you find the people that participated, did you find that their journey was similar to yours in terms of kind of like maybe at the beginning thinking, there's no way I can do this, but I'm going to try. And then perhaps at the beginning doing multiple takes of the thing and stressing about it. And then as they went on, by the time you get to day 20, they're just, for goodness sake, I'm just going to do it.
I think, everybody comes from a different place. So there are people who are quite confident on camera who sort of learn more about technical stuff. They don't have the same hang-ups that I do about, talking, speaking, literally. And then there are people who are exactly like me, who are like, yes, I tried and I know it's not very good, but I posted in the group. And
so it's a kind of a safe space to share.
It's a totally safe space. Yeah. It's basically, somewhere that you can put your videos and, people get to know you. I mean, that is the hugest, you're talking about why is video good? So if you're a small solopreneur, business owner, or you're a CEO, you want people, or you're a coach, you want people to get to know you potentially. And video is like the easiest way to get to know somebody before you've met them. And you will, and if you both do it, there'll be something when you finally meet. There won't be this weird awkwardness because you already know each other, even if you haven't kind of had a call together. Because you kind of, if you do it enough, people do get to know you. So that was really part of the point of it as well, or it became the point of it. It's much more about, well, if you haven't tried it, it is a really great way for people to understand you as a person.
And so people weren't posting about, this is the latest project I've just finished, or let me show you my office. What kinds of things were people, in terms of getting to know a person, is this like, here's my dog? What sort of level?
So it could be, you're just describing exactly what you're going through shooting a video. I mean, I'm sure, that's what I was doing to start with.
Yeah.
Because it makes you human, it makes people go, oh, okay, I get that person is not comfortable doing this, but then I wouldn't be either, So there's already, there's a nice empathy there.
Nobody wants to see the success stories, do they? And not that people enjoy seeing, somebody slip over on a banana skin, but a bit of courage to show, actually, this is really awkward and I'm really struggling with this, but I'm just doing it. And here it is. Here I am in all of my vulnerable humanness. It's really powerful.
Well, it is, yeah. I think we're all a bit tired of the success stories, aren't we? Because, people talk more now. They understand that people are going through things. Everybody's going through something. So, I mean, you don't have to bare your soul, but just showing a little bit of humility is not a bad thing, I think.
And as you say, if you do that, then people will, when they come and meet you, they already Know, like, and trust, all the things that, all the kind of, the marketing mantras that people say. But you're right, they feel like they already know you. And if they've checked out your website and if they've read your posts and they've seen you on video, it's just another, I don't know, I'm sort of imagining like a pie chart of the slice size that video is. I reckon is quite big. Your website and your video will be quite large bits of the pie, and then a couple of posts on Facebook, maybe a bit smaller. I don't know. There's no science behind that. I'm just thinking how powerful it is.
No, I agree. I think, proportionately, I suppose if you're doing a pie chart of influence, of connection or something, video would be, there's in person, then video is definitely the next one down.
Yeah.
And I don't know where. Yeah, and it comes into brand, it comes into the whole brand thing. If you are you and that is your brand, if you're a voice artist, then that's exactly where you're at, isn't it? Although it's not about you, but it is about a very personal part of you.
Yeah, I mean, my job's weird. People want to work with me because I'm me, but actually they want me to embody them, whether it's the voice of the company or whether it's the voice of the workforce. So that's weird. But you're right. They do need to connect or have some kind of connection with me or think I'm the right person / voice. I'm a weird example. Don't use me as an example.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's the thing. I think, maybe that's a bad example.
Yeah.
Because it's so weirdly self-referential, isn't it? So,
but branding, that's kind of where you said at the beginning, you're bringing in all of the different areas and your brand is like right the very kind of hub of that, isn't it? In the middle of the spokes of the wheel or whatever, the cherry on the pie. I don't know, I'll just shush. But talk about branding a bit.
So because I was a designer, I was trained in graphic design. I studied graphic design. I went into film, and then I was in magazines publishing for 12 years. I left publishing, and then I started my own creative bureau, I suppose. It was literally the size of a bureau. And then I started the video company. So I went through this kind of transition time. We're talking about creativity. There is a kind of pattern with if you're designing a spread in a magazine, or you're doing creating an ad for a brand, there's a lot of the same conventions. You have a message, and you have two messages potentially. You have a typographic message. You have the words that typographic message tells the audience. You have potentially a visual that is complementing that message. Altogether, that is communication. That is effective communication if done well. You can obviously do this in video with moving image and type if you want, or voice.
It's more three-dimensional, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. So all those elements sort of play with each other. Branding is at the heart of that. And if you are a personal brand, I guess if you're a one-person business and you are your business, then I think I got lost in my own explanation.
But I get it. I get exactly what you're saying. You're talking about the progression, but it's all connected. It's all part of it. And if you're the brand, you're you, but there's also obviously the elements of what you do and how you do it. And yeah, I think it's really fascinating to see that progression and see how you've gone, yep, okay, I got this bit sorted. Now let's bring in these other elements, and now let's double down. Because when you get to, we're never at the end of our personal or professional journeys, are we? We're always growing. But just because of you are who you are now, there's still all those other Andys working in, on your team who know all that stuff and have all those discoveries that they made, and they bring stuff to the party that perhaps you hadn't maybe remembered. So you wrote this brilliant, we'll talk about LinkedIn in a minute, but you wrote this excellent post that that I want to just share, because you were literally talking about story and our own narratives, and how sometimes we can get stuck in a story that maybe doesn't serve us, or we forget about our old stories that we could perhaps revisit. So I'm just going to read it. Can I read it? Do you mind if I read your
Read
thing?
it, yeah, go for it.
Okay, it's really lovely what you put, and I just thought I'm going to say that to Andy. So let me just get the piece of thing over here. So you said, it's funny when we do that. Listen to a narrative that seems to be our story, but leaves another one behind. And one day you find yourself so far through the book, there seems to be no going back. But the story is never really finished. If there's a part of you that's stuck on an earlier page, maybe it's time to write a new ending. Do you still have a page you need to revisit? I just love it. It's poetry. It's poetry.
I'm not sure about that, but...
And you were talking about going back to doing art, but it could be anything. It could be anything for anybody, couldn't it?
Yeah. That was because I am about to illustrate a book for a friend, which I have, it's talking to myself, trying to encourage myself and anyone else who is, who has forgotten that they once did something. I was just drawing as a kid, like the whole time. But yeah, it's if there's a part of you that feels like it hasn't finished something, it doesn't necessarily mean it's the end, and you've closed the book on it. And I think it's really easy to think that it is. It's really easy to think that, I'm defined as the video guy, whatever. I've got to continue doing that, and reading or writing the story that was kind of accidentally written maybe along the way, and I can't change it. And actually that's not the truth, because it's ingrained, I think, into our thinking that we're like, okay, not everybody. I mean, there are people who entrepreneurial people who jump from one business to another, very different businesses, and business is their thing, and they're very skilled at business, and almost those genres or whatever businesses they're working in, maybe that they're irrelevant, and business is the thread that is their thing. But for me, because like you touched on at the start, because I feel like I've been in different industries and done different stuff. I did a lot of web stuff when I started my own thing, because I was doing film nights and I had to promote them. So I built my own website, and then I learned how to build other stuff, So there are lots of kind of different skills in the mix. But what I realize now, after working on a branding job for probably the first time in 10 years, really, was that everything that I know, it's almost like a perfect point to bring all of that together. So, I started working on this job, and it wasn't anything to do with video at the start. It was a branding identity job. And then the tone of voice, design, both app and web, but it's really about the whole brand, the brand as a whole. And that's what I really love. I've been talking to people who are one-person businesses, which I've never done really before. I did it a little bit maybe a few years ago, but not in the way that I think about it now, and not with the video in my back pocket as well. So it's a really exciting time, I think, to suddenly I realized that all those stories that I told myself that I couldn't go back and do those things, it's not the case. It's actually, I feel stronger, I think.
Love
Now.
that.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Sorry, it sounds...
Absolutely. No, I was just really enjoying that answer. Yeah, it's within our power to choose our own story and not be railroaded by just being carried along by it, I think, and having some kind of agency. It's really, really powerful. And I was thinking, you said the creative direction, and like in my line of work, I connect with people who are called creative directors. But in my head, that is somebody who tells me how they would like a particular line to be delivered. But actually, the direction creatively of a brand, it's got so much more momentum to it. It's got movement, and it's a lot more than a creative director. You bring creative direction, and that's way bigger, I think. There we are, just geeking off on language for a minute. Okay,
but
right.
Yeah, I mean, well, no, I would say the elements I had when I was in magazines. I bought a book in the States that was called The Education of an Art Director, and it was basically talking about the fact that people don't know what an art director is in that context, not in film. And it was really about orchestrating all those elements. And it's not something that is easily definable. And like you say, suggesting that somebody's speaking a different tone is just one part of that whole. So, yeah.
Love it. I love it. Well, I think, what do I know? But I think you are so brilliant at what you do. And I'm going to encourage everybody to look at your website and connect with you on LinkedIn. You write on LinkedIn every single day. Every single day. I mean, what are you like? How long have you done that for?
So I've done it now. It's over 1,000 days now, but it's because, and that was a self-challenge, So I went to the Do Lectures in July, I think, 2022, which is, if anyone doesn't know what the Do Lectures is.
I don't know.
It is a nice gathering of people to listen to inspiring people speak. And I wanted to write about it. I hadn't written on. I'd basically come off social for about a year. After COVID, it was just I sort of couldn't. I just put my head into my work, and I couldn't handle the noise. I think that's what it was. I just couldn't handle the imposter syndrome, the noise, the feeling that I was becoming irrelevant. With all wrapped up in age and stuff like that. And I went to the Do Lectures as part of that kind of journey to sort of see what's next and what to find myself, I suppose. Didn't know what to expect. And then I just wanted to write about it. So I went back to LinkedIn. I didn't go back onto Instagram or anything else. I wrote a thing about it, and then I thought I'll write the next day. And then I wrote the next day and the next day. And then I found other people. Just because if you're in one place, you go to a shop every day, you're going to see some of the same people, right?
True.
So in the end, you're kind of chatting to those people, and some of them are relating to you and what you're writing, and you're relating to what they write, and you think, okay, well, maybe we could be friends then, at least in our words. And then that's when it started, yeah. So, and I kind of didn't stop. And then it became this self exploration thing. I've always been curious about my own brain, because it never didn't really seem to work like other people's brains. So I would just kind of write stuff out, and I'm not very good at speaking, or this is the story I tell myself, right? I'm not good at speaking. So if ever that gets back into my head, then it will, like, it's right there now, that narrative, it's right there. I'm speaking to you.
Well, it can shush. You're doing very well.
and but writing, I could express myself. I could express how I really feel. So, and I recognize that other people got something from that.
Yeah. So LinkedIn was massive for you then, in terms of, like you said, you went to those lectures to find yourself and you really didn't know what your direction was, and you were freaking out about being too old to be in the business you were in and all of that. I paraphrase, but that's the gist I'm getting. And then you found a community on LinkedIn, and now it's kind of, you're very much a part of the furniture, I think, with all your daily stuff. But it's never rubbish what you post. It's always exceptionally, beautiful, thought-provoking, powerful. It's ace, and presumably it works for you. As I know that you're not doing it to get work, but presumably it works for you because of all the things we've said. Do you get work from connections on LinkedIn?
Yes is the easy answer to that. But I was really conscious that I wasn't really writing stuff about work at the start of it. And it was very much about my kind of thinking. I knew that, because we had, in the business, we had gone through every social channel and kind of rated it as, is this most likely to get you clients at the end of it. LinkedIn was always the one, but it was always the one that was the least fun. So we would not really do anything on LinkedIn, and we post stuff on Instagram, and but it's just about triggering a thought, isn't it? It's not about it's not like you can choreograph there's a client at the end who is reading your stuff. But what happened was essentially just organically, I got to know people, and maybe somebody even recommended me to somebody, and then somebody gives me a direct message. Last year I worked with 2 people who I just sort of got to know, and they just happened to have projects which were, this branding project is one of them. And because I'm not very good at, I suppose, selling myself or my skills,
I would carry on, but I have take issue with that.
Okay. But I think I try in my own language, but I think I can't say I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. I can't.
But nobody wants to hear that.
No, I know. But, if a lot of people who are a bit more ruthless with it actually get places quicker because of it, because they'll just incessantly say it.
Showing off about all the things they do. Yeah.
So I think, absolutely, it has been back to the know, like, and trust thing. It's been exactly that. It's been people have kind of reached out and said, would be good to work together. And sometimes those projects aren't there at that point, and then maybe down the line they come. But I was paranoid I was going to lose clients because I was being honest and open. Maybe I have. I don't know.
But they're not the people you want to work with, right?
No, that's it. Yeah, that's it. I mean, it doesn't make my work, like, I'm the person I am, but it doesn't make my work any different. I can, the point about, looking at an audience and what an audience needs from a brand is different to who I am as a person. Just means I can think quite deeply about it. And look at those emotional connections. Yeah.
And you talked about being interested in how you think and your brain and all of that stuff. I've got an ADHD diagnosis. I think you're on that journey too. Is that something that is just like a kind of an extra bit of clarity for you? Or is that something that's been completely earth-shattering and fundamental to the next part of your kind of growth and your journey and your story?
I think I've always been looking for something an undefined thing to try and explain something. And And it was purely through talking to somebody, seeing somebody's post, having a call with them. Then I spoke. That was when the penny dropped of maybe I should look into this. And then I spoke to an ADHD coach on one of my 12-hour call things. And
we haven't even talked about that.
I chatted to her about it, and then she put me onto a book, and then I listened to this book, and then it was basically an epiphany moment. I realized this, the book that she put me onto was talking directly to me in my language.
Can you remember the title? Can we share it?
Yes, it's really easy. ADHD 2.0.
Okay.
So and that was and then I went to the doctor and got a referral essentially, and then typical kind of scenario, I did nothing about it for 2 years, and then we changed house and changed doctor. So I've just got re-referred again. So I'm just waiting for the next stage. But yes, it's
good luck
thanks.
with it. It's it's a bit of a mean paradox that the process of getting a diagnosis for ADHD is extremely unhelpful to people with ADHD.
It's not. I think somebody spoke about the grief that they felt for the person they could have been.
Oh.
And that was that kind of resonated, because I think that I've always been trying to get to the next level of something. I don't know what that is, but I think when you have ambition, you don't really know why you've got this ambition. It's quite it's quite nice to have it explained.
Anyway, it's nice to have a reason. I think it will help with, for me certainly, it helped with kind of the feelings of sort of why nobody, isn't this how everybody thinks, or isn't this how everybody is? Really, really interesting. Well, so I always end the podcast by asking people about the next part of their story. But first, before we do that, where can people find you? How can people connect with you? And is Selfie Video School coming back? Can people sign up for that? We'll put all the stuff in the show notes, but just tell us as well.
What were the questions? Yes.
How can people connect with you, Andy? How can they connect with you and work with you?
So LinkedIn is probably the best way, because if you don't like me, you can find out a bit more about me, I suppose, if you really want to. So and if you are looking for somebody, I'm working on a thing at the moment, which is like a creative support, a kind of personal creative director model. So that is that's an interesting kind of segue of my skill set. And it really speaks to how I enjoy working with people. So please connect, because I really like connecting. And Swipe, SWHYPE.com, and that's got video stuff on. It's not updated enough, but that's kind of the video things. And I don't even have the design stuff anywhere.
Look on LinkedIn.
Not on a site that I'm going to. Yeah, exactly. So not that I'm going to tell you about, but anyway.
So what does your story look like for the next 5 years, if you can possibly go there? You're a dad. You've got all of these kind of starbursts going on with all these different projects. What's up there for you?
Well, like I said, I'm actually, for the first time in like however many years, I don't know, 40 years or something, I'm illustrating a book. I did one for the next door economics teacher once. So illustrating a book and designing it.
What kind of a book is it?
So that's interesting.
Fiction?
It's kind of like a kid's kind of, it's a kid's, sort of like a kid's book, but it's not quite there. Not quite just that simple. But so if I actually get my confidence up with drawing. Maybe I'll do more of that. Maybe I'll finally do the book that I wanted to do.
Write a book.
Which is about, I had when my daughter, she was like 5, I wrote this kind of thing and I thought, I'm going to make a book. And then I didn't. But yeah, I'm going to bring all the skills together and hopefully work with people at evolving their business creatively. And that is kind of, it's taken this long for me to evolve far enough to actually understand that I think is what I can help people with.
I think that's definitely what you help people with, and we're always evolving and we're always changing, and new things happen all the time. So everybody's, hopefully people are growing in the same direction, and there's a synergy. And well, I would so urge people to follow Andy Greenhouse on LinkedIn and dive in to all of the next round of Selfie Video School and all of the other amazing things that you offer, because there's so much value in just reading your posts, and if you go beyond that, then you can only benefit.
I really appreciate that. Thanks, Katie.
Well, I
there will be another Selfie Video School, 30 days, and I'm going to put all of the previous stuff online, and maybe people can buy me a coffee or something like that. I've never done anything with that at all for financial reasons, financial gain. It's never been about that. So it's just been about that confidence kind of thing. But obviously things take time. So maybe.
I'm sure that
appreciate it.
I'm sure people would do that, and you're going to be really wired from a very, very large amount of caffeine. So,
yeah. Well, I hope so. That would be great.
It's been such a pleasure having you on, Andy. There's so much good stuff in our conversation, and I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today. So, Andy Greenhouse, thank you so much.
Katie Fleming, thank you.
Weren't there so many beautiful elements to that conversation? A massive thanks again to Andy for being here. And here are today's key takeaways. 1. Only you are you. It's a safe bet there's lots of other people doing the same job as you, but people are going to want to work with you if they feel a connection to you. Share stories about yourself and demonstrate what you learned from your previous jobs that make you who you are, and show them what you're going to bring to their party. Andy told us all about those previous roles he's had in design and print and branding and websites and social media marketing and writing and video. So all those skills are at his fingertips, and they make him such a brilliant creative. 2. Use video. It's the easiest and quickest and most direct way to connect with your audience, engage them, and get your stories across. If you're listening to the podcast on an audio-only format, why not check out the video version? You get a whole other layer of me. And my brilliant guests, of course. And if you need some help with your video, sign up for Andy's Selfie Video School or book him to create your project with you. 3. Who is it for? Andy said that when he makes a film or creative project, he's always thinking about the audience that his client wants to reach. And don't forget to make sure you know where those people hang out online, because there's no point posting on Insta if your ideal clients are only on LinkedIn. 4. Get under their skin. What do you want those people to feel? Andy said that's super important. So make sure you know what emotions you're aiming to generate with every piece of work you produce and every story you share. 5. Keep it real. Andy said everybody's going through something. And he also pointed out that we're all a bit tired of success stories. You'll create empathy with your audience if you're able to be a bit vulnerable on camera. In this age of AI, it matters more than ever that we can show our humanity and all our messy, beautiful human flaws. And lastly, number 6, it's your story. You're in control of your own narrative. Don't forget that. Your book is a work in progress. And if you want to write a new chapter or revisit an old one, just turn to a fresh page and go for it. So good. Can you believe Andy said he had a voice in his head that says he isn't a good speaker? Okay, coming up next time.
My mother taught me how to turn a nickel into a quarter and make spaghetti last till Thursday. You know, life's experiences is what qualifies us. And sometimes we think that if we don't have the best degree or the biggest job, that we can't do the most important things. And it's usually common sense or having conversations. And that's kind of one of the things about my story is that I'm not afraid to be an icebreaker. If you want to talk about it and you want to sit down and have that hard conversation, I'll have at it. I might not say the words as pretty as you. I might not be able to talk as fancy as the next guy, but I'll talk that truth. It's as flawed as it comes and as flawed as I am. If you'll have that conversation with me, how we can make this a better place for the next guy, I'm all in.
Alabama powerhouse Lisa Ward shares her story, her why, and her vision of creating low-cost energy from abandoned coal mines. It's a fascinating and inspiring conversation. Please subscribe so you don't miss it. I really hope you're enjoying this series as much as I am. I'd love to know, so please leave a review or drop me an email. I'm Katie Flamman, and this is Storytelling for Business. Until next time, goodbye.